So what is something that you consider a vice?
Women. Being with women, even talking to women, trying my best to not entertain women.
Well, how you get married?
Okay, that's actually a good.
What's one stereotype then that you feel like men need to break?
That men can't talk about mental health. And then also the idea that like, oh, you have to be this hard macho. Talking about mental health or talking about you not being well is like a sign of being weak. We really lost what being a masculine man truly is.
Are you a feminist?
Feminist in what sense?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
In this day and age, men feel very belittled.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a fact.
Okay, so now you have to be honest with me. How does it feel to be like a Muslim man in America around this particular time?
It's the craziest thing.
This is a game called What Men Say versus What They Mean. I'm just really busy right now. I can't talk. Does it really mean that, or is it this person is just not interested in you?
No, it depends. How often is this person busy?
I'm not ready for a relationship.
That's just some bullshit. That's excuses.
I don't do birthdays or anniversaries like that.
He's African.
Welcome to Am I Too Loud, the podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sophie, aka the motherfucking Odditty. My opinion for today would be, I don't think men are okay, and I don't think they even know they know okay. And and I feel like the person as the guest for today's episode, before we get into things, is somebody who I feel like he has such a unique take and way to talk to men that I don't get to see, and it's pretty refreshing. And honestly, I think Mo is just really cool. So I'm going to introduce you to my first guest in Los Angeles. I have Mo with me. Hi, Mo.
What up? How you doing?
Good. Okay. I have a whole intro for you guys if you don't know who Mo is. You guys, I'm trying to be professional here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so today on Am I Too Loud, we're joined by a man who is single-handedly trying to prove that men, in fact, can moisturize, lift heavy, and keep their sanity all at the same time. Our guest is Mohamet Mbaye, better known as Swaggy Mo, a creator, athlete, model, and wellness advocate based in Los Angeles. Am I getting it? Am I right?
You got it perfectly.
He was born to Gambian and Senegalese parents and grew up in a village in Gambia until he was 15. Did I get that right?
Wow.
Look at me.
Wait, where did you get that information? Okay.
Before moving to the U.S. and navigating colorism, bullying, and being the dark-skinned African kid in America. Instead of shrinking, he transformed his body, his confidence, and his life, making it his mission to help other men and women build self-worth through fitness, mindset, and self-care. Now he's a full-time content creator and model, working with global fashion, fitness, and beauty brands, from runway and campaigns to health and skincare partnerships, including his most recent work with Sephora, which is huge, guys. Today, he's here for a conversation I've been dying to have, because generally, are men okay? And straight men especially. And we're talking about masculinity, softness, gym bros, African parents, patriarchy, and everything else and more. Because sometimes vulnerability is not a personality flaw. Okay, you ready?
I was just like, okay, let me just... Phenomenal.
Thanks, Mo.
That was fire. That was really
So
dope.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What have you been up to? Chilling.
Been good. Just been working, honestly. It's just working. I feel like it's nonstop working. But I'm grateful because I prayed for times like this.
Yeah, period.
To be so
That's
busy
true.
that I don't know what to do with my life practically. But
Okay, I feel you.
I feel amazing.
I was telling people like season 2 of the podcast are people who I considered mutuals of friends. Friends were like, at least I have some level of a personal relationship with. We have met a couple of times. You've gone through the effort of like connecting in a way. And I think that's why I wanted you on the podcast. And I don't think you know this, but the first time I saw you, you were doing a video online. And I think you were doing a skincare routine or something where you just like, men need to just get their shit together. And I remember saying, actually, you don't see a lot of male straight men have social media platforms when it's not like the red pill, if you do this, do that. And it felt like you're so sure of yourself and who you are. Is that something that you've just always been like, hey, I'm just gonna do me?
I would say it's something that I kind of like grew into.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Because when I first, especially when I was like in middle school, I used to be like very, very insecure because, like I said, like as you noted, I used to get made fun of a lot for being dark skinned and whatnot. So that impacted my confidence a lot. So when I got into high school, that's when I really like started like working out and really started pouring into myself. And I guess the confidence just came out of nowhere. Like I guess there's a saying that like confidence come from doing difficult things or just putting yourself in like uncomfortable positions. So from that point on, I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna do any and everything that makes me uncomfortable. And like starting to create content and being within the beauty space was a little bit uncomfortable because I would get a lot of comments. People like, "Oh, you gay?" Or like, "Don't nobody want to hear that." I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? But now is a thing where like almost not a lot of guys, but many guys have skincare routines now where actually like it's becoming the norm. It's becoming something that is like that you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I always say this, like, everybody has a skin. Like, just because you might have the same skin type as your mom or your sister or your girlfriend or whatever the case may be, what gives you the reason to not like take care of it the same way that they're taking care of their skin? You know what I'm saying? So that really just coming from middle school and going into high school gave me the confidence to really be like, yo, you can just do whatever you want to do. You don't have to like follow the waves or whatever. Just do your thing.
Be you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I also feel like it's so hard for men especially. And let me tell you this, because if you're new to the podcast, I say however it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like for the society that we live in, men aren't taught to take their time to care for themselves. Like it's more of like a gra. Like let's make the money. Let's do it. Like it feels like you're being fancy or frivolous by taking the time. So how do you balance that perception of you?
So being Muslim, like is something that's like cleanliness is
huge.
Crucial. Like it's crucial. The washing of my, like I on a regular wash myself like 5 times a day to pray. You know what I'm saying? So using soap on my face or just using moisturizer to like hydrate my skin doesn't make me any less masculine than any other man out there. Yeah. You know, and I feel I always talk about this, like masculinity is not about what you put on or necessarily what you wear or what skincare products you use. I feel like it's an energy field. You know what I'm saying? Like you can wear as much skincare products as you want and still be the most masculine man out there. You know, it's just about how you carry yourself and like your internal state. So that whole correlation between taking care of yourself equates to being feminine. I just never understood where that image come from, and it's the dumbest thing ever. That's dumb.
Okay, I'm gonna show you a photo I saw, and then we're gonna react to a few things. Okay. And it's a segment I call like this came up on my FYP. But did you do your homework?
I did.
You did? Wait, what's your stuff? Where's the videos that you brought?
Well, it's on TikTok.
That's fine. I can play it. Okay. All right. But first, I'm gonna see if I can show you this. I'm just gonna show you like a zoomed out lens of it. And it's basically this that says, like, let's break these outdated stereotypes. Men experience sadness, shed tears, and battle mental illness just like everyone else. There's no weakness in vulnerability. It's a sign of humanity. It's a time we redefine what it means to be a man. What is your take on that? Because honestly, can I be very honest with you?
Yeah.
When I first met you, I told my friend Amina that I was like, oh, he's so arrogant. And I saw that because my perception of guys usually is like, if guys are so vocal, they tend to be vocal while putting women down. And the more I got into your content, I realized you're not actually talking to women. Like you're very specific and like, I'm minding my business and I'm just talking straight to a man here. And most men have an issue with communicating directly to men without having to include women into it. So how do you think men are being like redefined right now?
I feel well, I agree with that statement first of all. But one of the things that I feel like the one time that I've actually made content like dedicated to women was about telling women to like, it wasn't even necessarily telling women. I was just saying, oh, I love when I see like black women in the gym.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, that was the only time that I've made content that was like dedicated to women, because I feel I'm a man first of all, so I understand to a degree what a lot of men go through. You know, so regardless of how much I can try to study women, or I can never tell a woman how to become a woman. So in that sense, it's just like my area of expertise per se is speaking to other men that are like me, who have been in the same positions that I've been in, and you know, men that I feel like I can kind of help guide into, you know, a better space than I was probably when I was a little bit younger even. And I absolutely think we need to break a lot of stereotypes, actually.
Well, what's one stereotype then that you feel like men need to break off the cuff of your head? One,
that men can't talk about mental health.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
And I feel it's one of these things where I can relate to a lot of men because I don't like burdening other people.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if I'm talking to a woman, for example, like I wouldn't necessarily want to, because I feel, and you know what? And then also the idea that like talking about mental health or talking about you not being well is like a sign of being weak. You know, and this, I'm saying this, but this is something that I need to take myself, because I struggle with this a lot, where I'm just like, I don't necessarily like let people get too much into my inner life. Like, I'm very closed off. People think people think I'm open, but I'm not open at all. People don't know much about me. I'm very private.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I feel as though men need to break out of, the idea that like, oh, you have to be this hard, macho. It's just like, at the end of the day, regardless of how difficult or how tough the situation is, there's someone that can possibly help you out and someone that can help guide you throughout, the difficulties that you're going through.
Yeah. No, I love that. I feel like you're so right with the whole mental health conversation. Because I feel like even like as an African, it's something we don't talk. Like every time you say something's wrong with you as an African, they're like, your village people are after you, or you have the problem, or there's something wrong somewhere. And it can't possibly just be, you're just not feeling okay. Yeah. And I think I was telling a friend this the other day that in Africa, you struggle with your mental health, but there are things in place to help you not really focus on it. Yeah. You have your aunties, you have your uncles, you have cousins, you have nieces, nephews running around. If you're feeling sad, you can go out and build in with the community. When you live in a place like America, it's very isolating. Like,
super.
If you're not careful, you can wake up one day and realize that you've not seen people in 2 weeks because you've been in your apartment, and your apartment would have a gym, would have a pool, would have Instacart so you can drop off food, and that's it. If you have a car, you're done.
You don't even see your neighbors.
Like, you don't
I
see.
I don't
know who my neighbors are.
No, I legit don't see I don't know their name. I'm talking about next
door, like right there. Yep.
Nothing. I don't know nobody. And it's actually kind of crazy, but I love the fact that you said like in Africa. But I also feel sometimes like mental health also, or being able to understand that you're mentally not where you want to be, is a privilege.
It is.
It's a privilege that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly like in survival mode, your brain is constantly trying to figure out how to survive. You're not necessarily thinking about how to thrive.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's actually leaning into something I was seeing on the FYP, where it's like an idle mind is a devil's workshop. But the idea that like if you're not going and chasing something, then you'd be able to get into your mental health a bit more, and you start feeling vulnerable and all that stuff. But then people who are successful, because I think we're both really successful in what we do, and I still feel like there's a part of me that gets worried that maybe I'm not good enough, or the anxiety sets in, and then you go into a spiral. But then I also realize that it's because I've gotten to a level of success that now I'm scared of the success that I've gotten to, and that in itself is a problem, because you don't want the success to go away.
That's the thing, like feeling like there's a rug underneath you that can constantly just get pulled
at any moment.
It's so,
especially because you're black too.
Yes.
Oh please.
And then for me, especially because of some of the topics that I talk about, it's just like, damn, like
I do be worried.
I'm just like,
I'm like, what is Mo saying again?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But to me, the way I look at it is, one of the things that actually helps me, is because I feel like God did not bring me this far to like let me down, like to, you know what I'm saying? And I've been at the bottom, and when I look back at it, it's nothing but like great lessons that I got from it. Yeah. So I don't look at. I fear that, but I don't fear it as much as I have faith that regardless of whether it's social media or anything else that I can possibly go into, if I put in the same effort and the same energy that I put into it, like I will succeed. Yeah. Like for example, for you doing million, like honestly, I don't even know how you, like you doing million things at once, but you had to hone in onto so many different things and discipline yourself to learn and to apply yourself to the fullest capabilities. To be able to kind of like hone into those skills. So regardless of whether it's your own platform or somebody else's platform, you have gotten the skills that's gonna be able to like
take me wherever you want to
go. You know, so when I think of that, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit more chill. And also the people that you meet along the way as well, the people that you meet along the journey. Because God forbid if anything was to happen, I'm like, yo, Sophia, things are not looking too crazy. Am I too loud? You need a videographer? Because I already know how to do video, I already know how to do lighting, you know what I'm saying?
You are a hustler then. You're like, I'll figure it out.
Absolutely. I've always been a hustler in that sense.
So this segment is called This Came Up on My FYP, and it's basically the crazy things that we tend to see on our FYPs highlighted. Okay. I gave you some homework, which was to find some stuff on your FYP. Yes. But I think the fun thing that you don't know is I'm actually pulling up stuff that you've posted that I saw. So that's the fun part from my end. Okay. So you show me what's on your FYP, and I show you what's on my FYP, but it's going to be videos you've posted.
Of me. Okay.
So one of the first ones that I will show is you talking about black men in street culture and street life in general, where you said,
I hope every black man in America understands how stupid street culture really is, how idiotic and nonsensical it is. It's a lose-lose situation. And what drives me even more insane is that we have people that are old enough to be getting their colonoscopy still out here talking about what street culture is and what street culture isn't. Haven't you done enough? Haven't you let enough young black men into the wrong path? And before anybody comes around talking about, oh, you wouldn't understand, you're African, be quiet. You don't know what I've been through. 10 years of my life I spent in America. I lived in gang-infested neighborhoods. I went to school in gang-infested neighborhoods. So you're not telling me nothing. I'm from uptown New York. Other communities are talking about so many other things that's advancing them forward, and we still stuck on these degenerate ideas and low vibrational frequencies. How much longer are we gonna make hip-hop and rap culture black culture? You have to think bigger. The world is so much bigger than the block. And majority of y'all hold United States passports. Do you know what people would do for a US passport? This is the last time I'm ever gonna be talking about this in a video because it's just so low vibrational. Like, bro, think bigger, dream bigger, travel out, venture out, like experience new things. Like, bro.
Mo.
Yeah, I be blacking sometimes. Hey, listen, I be blacking. Yeah. That was crazy.
Okay, let me say my first interpretation of that. Okay. And when I was listening to that too, I swear, guys, for someone who talks and says a lot of shit online, am I too loud if I say that you're not wrong? And the message delivery and everything was exactly what it needed to be. Because even coming from back home, it feels like two of us should not be having this conversation because we're not Black Americans. However, I like to tell people that we have the same idea and concept anywhere else in the world. And the issue and the way you get past stuff like that is having these kind of conversations. What's actually good for our communities? What's the right thing? Because if you look at the movies, the content, the culture, it is so toxic. And the rhetoric is so frustrating because, yes, you're right. Like, people are dying for this blue passport to travel the world, to see the world. And there's so many young Black kids I see who don't know past what they've been taught. And if what they've been taught is not past their block, there's nothing to do. And you hear this a lot often where it's like, oh, well, I can't help myself. Like, no, you can't. Like, there's research now, there's opportunity. You can run away, you can do so much. So let's talk about why you chose to make that video. What even triggered that?
What triggered that video was, I guess, when Young Thug came out of jail.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing like, oh, like people that are 40, 50, like, oh, you know, did he violate the street code? Did he? And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are we doing as a people? And that video actually got so much, like, I got so much mixed feedback. But it was, I would say, 60% people agreeing and like maybe 65. And then 35 people are like, oh, you're African, you wouldn't know. But what people are not understanding is that, like, yeah, I was born in Africa, but I was raised in the Bronx. And I have family members that actually, that are African parents. Yeah. That got into these gangs and got stabbed, got shot. So it's not limited to only the African American. And when I say Black culture, I'm not talking about just African Americans. Yeah. It's not only African Americans that are in gangs, or it's Jamaican. Where I was raised at. Yeah. Uptown is legit nothing but Jamaicans and like people from the Caribbean for the most part. You don't really see a lot of like African Americans like that. I feel like within like
in
it's
last
context, it's all people from the Caribbean or people and there's a lot of African kids that are in gangs as well. Yeah. So when I talk about Black, when I say like how long we're gonna let street culture be Black culture, I'm not talking about African American culture alone because in the way that I think or in the way that I process things, I'm not letting the fact that I was born in Africa separate me from African Americans in a sense. Yeah. Yes, I might not understand every single thing that might have been passed down in terms of like when it comes to like the psychology of things, you know, of how it might have impacted African Americans, but I have studied enough to understand that, like, you know what, I can feel your pain and I can empathize with your pain. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just like we have to call a spade a spade. Yeah. And it's just like for anybody, you cannot justify seeing young Black men in the street, like just putting themselves in danger and putting other people in harm's way as well. Like, how is that? Even if it was someone that wasn't Black talking about it, it doesn't change the fact that it's the truth. You have to just be able to swap. Sometimes you just have to just and call it what it is. Somebody is calling the truth is the truth. Like the way that I live my life it's like, I feel like a lot of people, if they lived in a house and the house is on fire, they would want somebody to be like, hey, your house is on fire. For me, it's like, yo, your house is on fucking fire. Like, yo, burn, like, wipe that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you pour some water on it.
It doesn't matter how you say it to me, because at the end of the day, I'm able to like look deeper within and be like, you know what, my house is on fire. And
figure it out.
Because you told me, you actually do care for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the same way that I feel. And I don't even feel like my message was as crazy, but it's also like,
it's things people don't talk about. You know, there are some unspoken sort of rules in society, like etiquette is essential, but not street etiquette, let's say, right? Where like everybody knows it's wrong. Like it's weird, it's different. We shouldn't really be amplifying this message. It's like the Zeus Network, the baddies. I don't know if you've seen that shit. Let me go get you started. But there's some stuff that you see and we really should not be amplifying this message, especially for our community. But it's just something that is a thing. So when you hear people talking about that and criticizing it, there will be think pieces of, well, we need this to exist. But it's like, yeah, but do we actually?
No, we don't.
Do we need that?
No, and you know what's actually been what I've really been loving as of late is this like quarter zip. I don't know if you've been seeing the trend. I've been loving that. I've been loving that because I feel like young black men need to like see themselves in positions that like empowers you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to put nobody else down. You don't have to speak to people in a vulgar way. You don't have to, and it's just an energy frequency. I feel like I'm just so happy about that whole trend. Like it makes me so happy.
Is that on your FYP?
It's actually on my FYP. Yeah. I love it so much. Like it's so fire. So
okay, cool.
fire.
Okay, tell me one from your homework.
Yeah, mine is definitely that quarter zip. Let me see.
And another thing, I'm a quarter zip dude now. Simple. I don't do that Nike type stuff what y'all little boys do. I can't do that. I'm elegant. I'm classy. For me, like,
yes.
Like it's so fire. It's so fire. And I don't even think people understand like where this trend, like the potential that it has.
Yeah.
Because it's now so many young black men are like, oh, it's okay to be professional. It's okay to appear educated. It's okay to be clean cut and groomed.
Yeah.
And I love that. I really, really love that. Like I love
I love
that.
Yeah.
I love that because I feel like, and usually the way I create content, I don't really do anything. I don't follow.
Yeah,
any
you don't do trends.
I don't ever do any trends. This is the only trend that I'm like, you know what? I actually want to hop on this trend. You know what I'm saying? So this is dope.
No, I love that. I feel like it's so interesting that you bring that up because a lot of the black men I know are all in tech in Silicon Valley and all these places, but you don't really see them online because I don't think it's cool for them. But shit like this is happening now. You're like, yeah, finally.
No, it's
fire.
It's fire. Like seeing young black men in quarter zips, it's tough. Because it's like everybody grew up. Even myself grew up like wearing Nike tags and you know what I'm saying? So just seeing it's just so beautiful, honestly.
Okay, so I have another video I'm about to pull up for you, and this one is I think one of my favorites you've done so far.
Muslims are not your enemy, and Islam is not this violent ideology that's coming to take over and changing your way of life. That's not how it is at all. You are better off probably having a Muslim neighbor than anyone else. And not to say that Muslims are perfect. We are not perfect. We are imperfect and flawed, just like any other human being out there. Muslims have been dehumanized so much for the action of just few that don't represent Muslims or Islam at all, whose victims are Muslims more than anyone else. There are 2 billion Muslims, more than 2 billion Muslims in the world. If every Muslim wanted to harm you, the world would be over. As Muslims, we want to become the best version of ourselves, contribute to society, and worship God. If you want to study and understand Islam, pick up the Quran. It has been translated in many languages, so you can get the direct word yourself. And another thing, please don't use other people's cultural practices to represent Islam, because it does not. Another talking point that's completely false is that Islam oppresses women. Islam does not. Islam gave women the right to education, the right to home ownership, the right to inheritance, and so many other rights. And lastly, Prophet Muhammad said, the most perfect of believers are those who are best in conduct and kind to their families. That is what Islam represents. And I urge for you to just pick up the Quran and read for yourself. I read the Bible myself, the book of Proverbs to be exact. In Islam, we are encouraged to seek out knowledge and educate ourselves the best way that we possibly can. So please be mindful of the rhetoric that you spew out there. Because
So I watched that and I loved it so much. But also, I think we've actually never talked about this, but I'm Muslim, right? But I am not a practicing Muslim anymore. And in the video before this video that's coming out, I think maybe 2 videos, I'm not sure when your episode is coming out, but I talked about how organized religion is a scam. Not religion and not faith, but organized religion itself. Because I fear that we put so much emphasis on humans leading us to some level of heaven or aspiration in that way that we forget that religion and faith is such a personal endeavor. It's such a personal quest. So seeing you talk about that, especially because I was also in Nigeria when Trump did the whole Christian nationality, we're going to come and save Christians in Nigeria, come and save us. And I remember thinking that being Muslim, because a lot of people ask me too, like, oh, why don't I say I'm not Muslim anymore? Because I'm like, I would always be Muslim. At my core, I'm always going to be Muslim. I've also read the Bible. I've also read the Torah. Like, I've always been seeking knowledge, but I always struggle with the way it's portrayed in the media, especially because humans are such vile creatures sometimes, and the way we weaponize culture and religion to our end. So how does it feel to be like a Muslim man in America around this particular time?
I feel the way I create content is I feel like many other people can kind of like relate to as well. Ideas just come to me and I just act upon them.
Yeah.
But one thing I realized though is that like Islam is such a beautiful religion, and it has done so much for me. Like I was born and raised Muslim, but I've had to kind of like rediscover it on my own, kind of, you know, and just understanding like how it's done, it's done such a disservice, kind of like throughout especially within the West. One of the things that I've kind of been talking about as of lot lately, I actually made another video, kind of like a follow up of that, is the fact that like religion, or especially the Islamic religion, has been used, or extremism, I should say, as a political vehicle in most of the places than it is like a religious thing. Like I don't know of any practicing Muslim that would say that anything that an extremist does is something that is right, or something that Muslims stand for. You know what I'm saying? But the way they say, oh, the Muslims, and especially since 9/11 happened, right? Is like all Muslims are kind of like put under this same umbrella. When in reality, like it's like the way they describe Islam is nothing compared to what Islam actually is. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people are actually now starting to wake up and realize like, yo, what have I been taught all this time? You know, about this religion or these people. And what are some of the things that are fabricated to kind of like make me not like them, or make me hate them? And I think especially there's this video that I was watching recently with this. It actually went viral on TikTok. This lady that was calling like churches. And,
I saw that.
And
that's what was in the FYP
right?
too.
And then it's just like people are starting to see that like the true love and compassion that a lot of Muslims have. We're not perfect, you know, and but we are people that try, and we absolutely love and really would help out any and every single person that we possibly can. You know, so to me, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to be Muslim, and I also feel I get what you're saying in terms of like the organized religion aspect of things, but I feel like Muslims also know this for the most part is a deeply personal journey, you know, and it does happen to be in Islam there are certain, you know, protocols that are supposed to be followed that you know, I'm trying my best to adhere to a lot of the principles, you know, and really do my best, but at the end of the day, heaven is not necessarily for the in Islam there's this saying that like that heaven necessarily is not for the perfect person, or not is not for the person that doesn't sin. You only get into heaven mainly because of God's mercy. You know, and I feel as though one of the things that I try my best is just to become the best person that I can possibly become, and become a contributing member of society, and then, you know, try my best to shy away from the sin. We all sin in some capacity, in some way, shape, or form. And so how do I just try to be better than I was yesterday. That's
Yeah.
my overall goal every single time.
I love that. Okay, you were talking, I just thought about this. You sound like someone who has their shit together. And for a lot of people, like, that is something that sometimes they feel like they can't relate to. So what is something that you consider, and this is not even part of my questions, a vice or something that you really still struggle with?
What is a vice? I guess sometimes distraction.
Okay. Is that like social media?
Social media can be a distraction.
What would you, I feel like, what do you watch? I can't imagine what your FYP looks
My
like.
FYP is just like, I watch a lot of political
Yeah,
things
okay,
sometimes.
okay, I can see
Or
that.
sometimes it's just like funny stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love watching like the Nigerian skits. Like Mr. Funny.
You
like
do love Nigerians.
Yeah,
Mo
I
loves
love
Nigerians.
Nigerians. Like I'm obsessed with Nigerians.
And we're chaotic.
Funny enough, I'm
people.
actually supposed to go to Nigeria in December.
You coming?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Abuja though, I think. Yeah, for the
Abuja is
most part.
fun. Yeah. Abuja is gonna be a vibe. Well, you should come to Lagos though, even if it's for 2 days.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah, it's not far. It's like 40 minutes. Plus, are you gonna fly straight into Abuja?
I think so. Somebody else is booking my,
Oh,
my
yeah,
flight.
yeah,
So
let me
I
know.
might. But I love watching like the skit makers. I can legit just stay on Instagram for hours and just watch it. That's definitely a vice of mine. What other vice would I say I have? This is not to like try to say I'm perfect. Trust me, I'm
no,
I feel like,
oh damn, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like another vice that I would say I've struggled with is just disciplining myself from women.
Yeah.
And not necessarily even just being with women, but even talking to women or like trying my best to not entertain women to that capacity.
Well, how you get married?
Nah, yeah, I would talk to, but like just not trying to like dibble and dabble and do all of that.
I feel it.
I just feel as though like, I love women. Like I really and truly love women, and I feel like that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Truly.
So you're working on that.
Yeah, so I'm working on like just disciplining myself from not necessarily like, just yeah. So,
bet. Wait, how old are you?
29.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're like your early 20s.
Really?
I swear. I just thought you were like, oh, you know when you have someone who's like an old soul?
Yeah.
I always just assumed you were an old soul.
I
we're
get
basically the
that
same
a lot.
age because I'm 28.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
crazy.
That's wild.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Now we're going to put Mo into the loud guest seat where I have a bunch of questions. We're going to play games. I just feel so professional right now. This is great. So we're going to start with, when did you first realize there was a right way you were supposed to be a man? What I mean by that is like, did you ever get to a point where like you are interested in something, you hear someone say, that's not what men do? Or was there like maybe when you were younger and you're like, boys go this way, boys go that way? Like what age was that for you?
I think for me, it was actually once I I think I was probably like 19.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 18 when I think it's oddly enough, I started with skincare.
Yeah.
And I remember that's when like proactive. When was proactive? Actually, actually a lie.
That's OG. That's
yeah,
OG skincare too, though.
No,
Yeah.
legit. Like
What the
proactive.
heck?
Yeah. Because I used to like struggle with acne and stuff like that. So I was doing it. And I remember talking about it once in school, and it was like, you use that? I'm like, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with using. From that point on, I realized I'm like, a lot of these men are like, a lot of us men are led in like so many different directions to the point where we really lost like the track of what being a masculine man truly is. It's not about like necessarily like to how would I call it? To equate taking care of yourself with being less masculine. I just never, it's just dumb. From that point on, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be my own man. And I'm just going to like, just try to figure out how can I become the best masculine version of myself. So definitely this is when I was a lot younger for sure.
So growing up, like Gambian and Senegalese now, what messages did you get about men and emotions, and who taught you that? Like, was it like a father figure, uncles? What is it? Because I know for a fact your uncle was not doing skincare, and your uncle was not over there telling you to teach you anything about being a guy. So how did you sort of like learn? So I feel like that's my biggest issue. I don't want to say biggest issue, but that's something that I often feel like men lack growing up, is like the male role model.
Yeah.
And especially if they have good ones, because usually the male role model they have is like, if your uncle was in a streets gang, you want to be in like a street gang too. If your uncle was, you know, a terrible husband, you want to be a terrible husband too. Like, he's usually always that very negative. So how did you sort of like navigate that? What message did you get?
For me, so growing up, I didn't really have, from when I was younger until I was like about 15.
Yeah.
I didn't really have much of a great connection with any. I didn't have much of a connection with any men in my life, for example. So my dad was here, and my grandpa was like I was basically raised by my grandpa and my grandma,
Yeah.
and so and then my uncles as well. But my relationship with my uncles was not good at all. Like
Yeah.
I used to get like really like abused a lot
Yeah.
from them. Like so I grew up as a farmer, like a peanut farmer, and then so we would oftentimes go to the farm, and then like I would just be like out of nowhere just get beaten out of nowhere. You know,
Okay.
and I felt like it was this kind of like animosity that they had towards my dad, that he, you know, was abroad or whatever the case may be, and so I felt like whatever angers they had,
Took it on you.
they just took it out on me. So I never really had a man to show me how to be a man until I was like, I never really had a man to show me how to be a man. To be quite frank, it was just mainly my grandma that I felt like that raised me practically by herself.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say I didn't have any man teach me how to be a man, it's like my grandpa was there, but I never really had. My grandpa was a man of like very few words. Like
yeah.
he barely spoke. So we never had like conversations like, oh, this is this, this is that. Like I saw him there and as like the father figure of the house, like the whole compound, but we didn't have too much of like a personal, like a
relationship
super
like that,
personal
yeah.
relationship apart from that. And so how I learned how to like become the most masculine version of myself is just through learning.
Yeah.
Like learning, like reading books, and I started to understand that a lot of the things that like men equate to masculinity is not actually masculine at all. You know, a lot of men equate, you know, being promiscuous and, you know, kind of like getting dopamine hits from all of these different things, like as to like to be the most masculine version of themselves. But to me, I think that's like the weakest thing that you can possibly do.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I love women. Like I just love women like with all my heart. But you start to understand that a lot of people, a lot of guys especially, use women as a form of escape. You know, it's just like, yo, okay, so let me just do this and then boom. The next thing you know, you in a whole different universe for the next 15 minutes or whatever the case may be, and then you kind of forget about all of the things that you actually need to work on.
Yeah.
But I often say this: the moment that a man like really cuts like a woman or like just having just ordinary, I don't know, sex like that, you really discover so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Like you go to like a different like. You go to like a different place
Yeah.
because oftentimes as men, like our biggest weakness is women.
Yeah.
So if you're able to like withstand, if you're able to like discipline yourself to like not, you know, watch porn or not be like sleeping around with every single person that you can possibly find,
Yeah.
you just like put yourself above maybe 99% of all men. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not ruled by the flesh in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And this is so interesting because me and my producer Donald talk about this all the time. We actually had an episode about men, masculinity and control in between different episodes anyways. And I have this like theory that young boys are oftentimes shaped poorly because of the lack of conversation that happens to them early. So like if you're 12 or 13 and you just discover your penis for the first time and no man in your family is going to tell you how to do it. All you know is, oh, my uncle or my dad is always doing this with my mom, or you're going on porn, you're talking to friends in school. There's no tough conversations that I had on control, on respect. Like the amount of times we hear growing up that, oh, a boy likes you if he hits you.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, if a boy likes you, he will court you by getting you flowers and writing you notes. Because the ones who do that are the ones who are gay. They're the ones who are doing extra stuff. Because a masculine boy should show his dominance and show his prowess and da-da-da-da-da. So were you just someone who knew to be better? Or was it just like, was it your grandma teaching you? Because I have this ethos that a lot of the male friends I have, they all have female role models. Like they all have like, in so many ways, like maybe they're close with their mom or they have elder sisters that sort of like shaped their respect and understanding of how to treat women.
You know what I think doesn't get spoken up about enough is the relationship between African men and our dads. Like
Speak on it.
it's so crazy because I feel like most African men don't have like a great relationship with their dad.
They
And when
don't.
I say great relationship, I mean a relationship where they can actually like talk about things that are uncomfortable, or things that might be a little bit unconventional in a sense. And I'm so grateful for the relationship that I have with my dad, and I feel like it's gotten so much better throughout the years. But most African men, I feel like, have this idea of most African dads, I would say, have this idea of like instilling fear into their sons.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, I'm the macho man, I'm the dominant one, and it's just like they never truly allowed themselves to just coast because they constantly feel like they have to keep this image. If not, their son is going to try them. But what I feel like they're not understanding is that as a growing man, you can be like, as a dad, I feel like you can be an alpha. You can be the man of the house and still bring your young one up to be just as dominant as you are without necessarily constantly making them feel threatened. Because that's what happens is, if, especially as a growing young man, if I feel threatened, my initial thought or reaction is, how do I neutralize that threat? And I feel like there's constantly like that clash of masculinity power that's going on between, fathers and their sons. And it can be very damaging because even if it's not necessarily anything wrong, most young men never feel like they can open up to their dads because it's just like there's constantly that sense of like, yeah, he think he's too it's just, I feel like it's just
you hear like 2-3-year-old boys who maybe the boy talks about pushing, you're like, how dare you? And I'm like, it's a child. Like a child would want to push back. Like that's normal because you're threatening their autonomy first of all, and they don't know better. And you then hitting them or showing them like you're the boss, so you need to respect me. It's something that will stick with them. Like, okay, so now I need to be aggressive too if someone does the same thing to me, and the cycle continues. And
it's not even just the disciplinary aspect of things. It's just constantly there's this just energy of just like up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it's cool to just be able to chill and like really kind of show a little bit of a softness sometimes. You can still teach a man to be the best man that they can possibly be without necessarily having them feel like they constantly in like a fight or flight kind of like mode.
Because I didn't know my dad, and I tell people this all the time that whenever I would tell my mom like, "Oh, mommy, thank God you don't have a husband," and she'll be like, "Why would you say that to me?" And I'll always say, because everyone's dad is so mean. Like I'll be like, how are they happy? Like visiting day will come in boarding school, and people's fathers will come, and you see the energy in the place just go. Like, all the men are coming into the house. Like everybody's like, the mom is like rushing around and hiding. And I was like, that doesn't feel like a safe home for me. And my mom was always like, no, like you pray for a husband who show you that you can laugh to. And I'm like, yeah, but why don't their dads, like, why do dads right now, why don't they love their kids enough to like show them that? So I think it's so right that we don't necessarily talk about African parents and that relationship. Hopefully it changes. I feel like you would be like, our generation, I hope, is like the fresh start for a lot of young kids.
And I think that's why I'm so grateful for the platform that I have. Because although I'm not perfect, but my heart is in the right place. And I'm trying my best to become the best version of myself, because I know there's a lot of young men, a lot of young African men that are looking up to me, and just trying to kind of like change the narrative a little bit, because I feel like some things do need to shift. Like there should be no reason why, as a young man, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable talking to my dad and like about things that I'm necessarily going through. And I know this. I can almost guarantee you this. Every single African man, for the most part, doesn't have a close relationship with their dad. You know, and it's very sad.
And if they do, it's usually a respect relationship. It's not I'm able to share and open up. It's more of like I respect him so much because he's made himself so big to me.
But it's not.
There's no human part. It doesn't feel like even relatable.
It's not even respect, really. It's fear oftentimes, and that fear is constant. There's like a constant way of like, even if you're not doing it, you actively thinking of how do I neutralize, because nobody likes to be in a fight or flight mode.
That's true.
But that's what a lot of African men, a lot of young African men, that's the mode that they're in, like 24/7. And it's just like, man, like as a dad, you know how like a lot of other cultures, I feel like sometimes like their son can actually like open up to their dad. They can talk about a lot of things. And I just feel like that's how you really train your young man to become like the man that you want him to be, or the man that he can possibly become.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious now about your take on this, and this will be an interesting conversation, but are you a feminist?
Feminist in what sense?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Okay. So this is an educational like space in a way, because a lot of times when I ask African men that question, are you a feminist, they tend to be like, they answer me exactly, especially the ones who are educated and who are open-minded, always ask me. They don't say no immediately. They always say, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by feminist? Because typically propaganda has shared that feminism is like this outline, crazy, holding, whatever. But I like to say at the core, definition of being a feminist is someone who believes in the equity of men and women.
Absolutely.
Not equality, because I don't think women and men are equal. I think in the equity. And equity is, I don't know if you'll have seen that cartoon. I'm going to try to put it here, of if kids are watching or people are watching a football game and you give everybody the same stepping stool. But there's someone who's short, there's someone who's tall, there's someone who's fat, there's someone who's skinny, and they all can't really see over in different ways. Or you give everybody like different level to match their power. So that's what feminism is, right? It's like if me and you are both equipped to be in the same space, but because you're solely a man, you get the bigger opportunity. That's when it's anti-feminist. So I say that because if a lot of men who might be watching this might listen to you and be like, oh, he can't be a feminist. I'm like, no, because at the core, what you are sharing is if men pour into themselves in the right way, there's a balance that tends to happen and the world just moves a bit smoother. So now that I've told you the meaning, are you a feminist?
I am a feminist. I am a feminist in the sense that, you know, I'm a big believer in the idea of like empowering women.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like a lot of men kind of have this, and a lot of women do let the idea of like, for example, finances kind of like get in the way of them being their most feminine self.
Yeah.
And I feel as though like it's almost, finances is almost robbing women away from their feminism.
But we talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am of the opinion that how we are raised is what makes that be an issue. Because when you're growing up, a young girl and a young boy, right? Boys are raised to be providers. Like it's grilled in them, make money, make sure your family is set for life. Generational wealth is everything. Men are taught to be better in math even. Like as a girl, you should go and draw, go and do dance recitals, go and wear frilly dresses. And that's usually already the divide is there at birth. And then you get to a point as you're an adult now. So you get a lot of women who grow up having no idea about financial responsibility, finances, because they're going to be taken care of. And it was easier in the world where men had, you know, the opportunity to be there because patriarchy was still very, very strong, maybe in the 80s, 90s, 70s, right? And when men were flourishing a lot more, the life was good, everywhere is good. Now, you know, the feminist movement started happening. Women started getting more opportunities. Women are getting jobs. But then also, as this is happening, the economy is getting worse. Like men actually suffer. Like everybody's struggling now. Men are looking at you like, you need to also start lending to parents or you need to start helping me here. But we're not raising young girls. We're not then. Now I see a lot of women now getting into STEM and being business owners and providers, and the influencer industry is a huge part of like women also getting to understand that they need to start making their own money too. People are now saying, oh, it's better when it's balanced. Like it's better when it's like, oh, I'm able to provide for myself. I am whole and I have a partner who's whole too. The conversation now loses its sort of like drama about financial support, because even me, everyone I've dated, because I make my own money, I have my own resources. Everyone I've always dated, it's never been a question that I wouldn't feel feminine or I wouldn't let myself go, because I know I feel safe in my relationship, because I also feel like I know who I am as a person. And most young girls don't, because they're taught your provider and your leader will come. And I want that sort of to shift and change, because men love powerful women who know what they're doing and what they're capable of, and also able to treat them too, because it should be fun. Like life and relationships should be fun. Like
it should be fun.
It's interesting when a man is a provider. Like I think of homes when the man is a provider, but when he comes home, it's like, oh yeah, his wife probably went to her business and then she came back, or maybe she doesn't even have a business, but she's maybe bought some new things in the house because she just feels like it. She got him some stuff, so she's taking care of the kids and she's taking care of him too. It's equally yoked in a way, and I think most of the conversations around finances makes women feel like they can't be safe, because then there's a frustration now from a lot of men too about like, I'm trying to work hard, 50 and you're asking me for a Birkin bag when you did it, and it's like, well, society is changing, guys.
Now, I agree with your take for sure, but I feel like most women, like I said, let the idea of finances kind of like rob them away of that softness.
Yeah.
You can make money, you can be powerful and still be, in a sense, like soft enough to, nurturing enough to be a family woman. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of women, they kind of like, they think, okay, because I'm able to provide for myself, now I need to like really be very rugged and very, and it's just like, what, you're not understanding, no matter how masculine you are, you will never be more masculine than a man.
Let me push back and say, yes. However, I think most of that feeling and frustration from the woman's perspective is a woman who's trying to earn has to be rugged and masculine. You know what I mean? So it's hard to then transition that into the home. So I'll give you an example, right? If I'm going into the world, and Thames is a beautiful example, actually, not even me. Thames is a talented, super sexy, talented woman, right? And she shared how, like, when she first started in the industry, she had to put baggy clothes on. She wasn't sexualized. So imagine a woman like that in her space. If she finds a partner, I don't know what her story is, but if she finds a partner, it might be harder to get out of that mindset of, I need to show you that I'm not just a body. Like, I'm also talented. I'm also this. I'm also a person and human you bring to the table. That's why I say the ownership then comes on the man or the partner in that relationship to show that you can let that go. Like, when you come home, you can let that go.
Absolutely.
You can relax.
Absolutely.
Like, I got you. And that usually comes from a level of emotional intelligence most people don't have the patience for. And I think especially most men, because it's like automatic, like, okay, you're home now, be soft. It's like, no, you can't say that, because you're telling me to unlearn what I've just spent the last 24 hours doing or figuring and fighting to come on and just switch it for you. How do you make me feel safe now to make me even want to? You even have to ask me to be soft. It's automatic because I've provided that space for you to be soft.
Absolutely.
And I tell that a lot of people who struggle with that balance too, because I think it goes for men too, right? Men oftentimes in a relationship don't know how to be like, let me open with my partner. Let me open up. We're struggling financially here. How can we support? Because again, another flip side of that is you might have a partner who's like, oh, you're suffering, I'm out of here. So it's respect for each other in partner relationships, and also being able to understand emotional awareness and intelligence to get both of you to like be on the same path and level.
And I feel like I love that you said that, because that kind of like comes in with the whole empowering your woman, you know, and it doesn't only happen, it's not even about finances most of the time. It's really about just making your woman feel safe, making your woman feel like she can just be herself. Because as men, we are constantly like this. Women go through so many different emotional, phases. Their bodies changes. Like they so many things that they go through that's different from a man. So it's just like, as a man, you have to really understand that regardless of how strong she is, she's still weak. You know what I'm saying? In a sense that, like, compared to you. You get what I'm saying? And I don't say weak in a sense of women are incapable. No. It's just saying that, like, her weakness in comparison to you is her strength as well. Because they are able to tap into like an energy field or a frequency that you can never tap into, no matter how masculine or how much money you have. You get what I'm saying? So
Interesting. Okay, so how does fitness come into all of this? Because I feel like for a lot of men, they oftentimes find the gym as like their safe space or their outlet, rather than actually like maybe seeking therapy or doing wellness practices. Are like So how does the gym? Because I know you work out. You just ran the marathon. Congrats! How was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah, I told you. It's like,
great.
I love NYC. He just ran the NYC marathon. Killed it. Your time was amazing too.
Oh, thank you.
So
thank you.
how does fitness come into all this for you?
For me, funny enough, you talking about mental, you legit, the way you said it, man, just described me perfectly. So I struggled with like mental health quite a bit. I had this thing called derealization and depersonalization, where it's like you feel like, I feel like I'm in a dream state. Like I don't feel like, I feel like I'm constantly just floating on clouds. It feels so crazy. It's like I could be in a room full of people but still feel so alone. And like with that comes with like short-term like memory like it was just so crazy because I would have to study twice as hard and still not be able to like retain information. So it was very difficult for me. The only time that I felt like my present self or I felt like my normal self was when I was in the gym. And so because of that, my relationship with working out has been something that's so religiously kind of like embedded in my routine, to the point where if I go 3 days, up to this point now, if I go 3-4 days without getting active, like I become so pessimistic. Like I start thinking so negative. Like I know that that's my sign to just okay get back into the gym. You know what I'm saying? So often, like for the last 15 years or so, the most I've ever sat out from the gym was probably like 4 days.
Wow,
like
that's
straight.
crazy.
Like so, I just have to be super. Like I'm aware of this, and I know that like talking about it alone is not going to like kind of get rid of that for me. So I have to be like very very like cognizant of making sure that like okay, this is what makes you feel good. This is what makes you feel you. So don't neglect it, you know. And so it's been life-changing for me, honestly. It's been one of the like most amazing things I've ever done.
I love that. Okay, so now you have to be honest with me, and because I think when we have a conversation, I think there's a lot of expectations on you as a man. I like to say that expectations on men are usually by them versus like other people in the world. Like a man puts that much pressure on himself because society has told the man that he needs to put pressure on himself. True or false?
I would say it's hard for me to say true or false because pressure is not necessarily bad.
Okay, tell me.
You know, like pressure is not bad, and I feel the same way I say being able to know or being able to like struggling through kind of like mental health to a degree is a privilege. Like pressure also is a privilege because if you don't have the like as a man, men grow through challenge. Right. Like
men grow through challenge. Okay.
Men grow going through like adversity and like you know, and it doesn't need to be anything too crazy, but you have to discover your masculinity. You have to find your masculinity. And that's why it's just like oftentimes, like, for example, like a wealthy person or a rich person think that they can provide every single thing for their son. Your son still needs to discover his own manhood. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though, like, you know, in Africa, right? There's points where there are times, especially like in the village, there are times where there are so many different kind of like stages that are chaptered off, where you know that like, okay, when I come to this level, I'm no longer a boy, I'm a man. You go through ceremonial kind of like you know rituals to a degree, like for example, like circumcision, like a lot of those things kind of like symbol where you go, you know, you locked away with a bunch of men where they teaching you a lot of the things about like a lot of ways of a man and things that are short. So you automatically like there's that switch that goes off because you're going through something that's difficult. And a lot of those rituals is also things that are very difficult as well. So you kind of discover yourself through that. So without pressure, you constantly go through life and thinking that like things are sweet, but it's not sweet. Because as a man, you are going to be tested in so many different ways. You're going to be tested. Your family's going to test you. Your woman is going to test you so many different ways. So you have to figure out the only way that you can become the most masculine and the best version of yourself is to go through those kind of like trials and tribulations and still be able to withstand and still be able to carry yourself and operate in a sense, like in a way that you can operate. You know what I'm saying? As a man that never been tested before, you get into a relationship and all of a sudden you feel like your woman is testing you. And a lot of the times people don't know how to kind of like deal with those emotional things rather than someone that really been through it. Life been slapping you all left and right, but you still been operating, you still been steadfast and doing the things that you need to do. So pressure is good to me. I appreciate pressure, to be quite frank.
Okay.
So, but I do feel when it comes to like some financial things, some do, but for me, I put that pressure on myself, not necessarily society, because I want to be a man that provides for my family. Like, and to me, I feel like that's a part of manhood, like being a provider. And so I don't ever want to go in a world where I feel as though I don't have that pressure on me
Yeah.
to not be excelled, to not be, at the end of the day, I still have to be a protector and a provider for my family.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, it's just like, your woman can work as well, but I'm not necessarily looking at my woman for her to be the provider for the family. At the end of the day, even if I can afford only a closet, God forbid, that I want to take pride in being able to be like, you know what, this is the closet that I have, and if you are able to kind of build with me and come to that closet and let's build together.
Yeah.
So
interesting. I love that. I feel like I love hearing perspectives like this because it tells my listeners listening that there's so many different facets and types of men and manhood out there.
Yeah.
Because in many ways, like, I'm just thinking about what you're saying, Any Cash, Justin, Donald, folks who have been on the podcast, and how their perspectives are so different. But at the core of it, it's chasing this idea of becoming one's best self.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, like, at the core of it, like, if humans spent enough time looking inward and saying, how can I be the best version of me? I think there's so many things in this world that will be going better, because you underestimate the power of sort of like being yourself and honing in on like working out properly, making sure your mind is right, making sure your finances are right as a person to even become the best version so you can provide for people and so on.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, when have you ever, because you've mentioned wanting or a partner who is soft or talking about softness, do you feel like you are capable of being soft, or has there been a time in the past where you've let yourself be soft?
That's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a struggle of mine. It's a struggle of mine because, to kind of let that guard down, and this is some of the things that I've been learning. There's this really great book. It's called The Way of the Superior Man, and it just talks about just how you kind of like deal with your woman to an extreme, to a degree or whatever, like just ways that you can be the best version of yourself, essentially. But I'm starting to learn that you have to be multifaceted in a sense, and you have to be able to compartmentalize. Like I can go out in the world and do whatever, but still when I get home, to just be soft and be, easy to deal with, be very calm. I'm actually very calm in person. I feel like oftentimes people, when they meet me, like they are so shocked because they expect me to be, but I'm just super, super chill. So just being able to kind of like balance that, I think is very important. So yeah.
I think it's interesting because you still don't answer if you're soft or not. You said it's a struggle.
I'm not.
Do you think? What is your definition of being soft, though?
My definition of being soft is just. Okay, that's actually a good. My definition of being soft is just kind of not having to carry this hat of like.
I have my shit together.
Yeah, like constantly just. Everything is perfect, you know what I'm saying? And just being able to like open up, like, and I've been actually doing that a lot. Yeah. Like, and like if I'm not feeling well, I'll tell you like, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling my best right now. If I need some time, I would tell you, I need some little bit of time to kind of like just figure this thing out. So just being able to communicate your actual feelings, to me, that is like the ultimate like softness. Yeah. And it's something that I've struggled with for a long time because I constantly felt like I had to like fight my battles by myself. Yeah. But what you realize is that once you get a partner, you no longer operate as an individual. It's just however, especially if she cares about you. I hope she cares about you. But what you're going through also would impact her in a way as well. So, yeah, being able to communicate and being able to really talk about my feelings, I feel like it's, my definition of softness. So I'm getting softer, I would say. All right.
So in that scenario then, I like to say that men struggle because they don't have community. Yeah. And the topic the title for this is like, are men okay? And I say that a lot of men will go farther and be maybe a lot stronger if they had community. Yeah, absolutely. Like boys just don't talk. Like y'all don't talk to each other. Y'all don't hug each other. Yeah. Y'all don't ask each other if you're okay. Yeah. Like there's this trend that was going around where like guys would call their friends and like maybe at night and be like, I love you, bro. Good night. Yeah. And the guys are like, you okay, bro? Hey, yo, chill, man. We're not gay. What the heck? So like, do you have a community of men? Are you seeking that? Are you against that? Are you for it? What does that look like?
No, I absolutely love that. And the men that I'm a man of like very few friends. Yeah. But the friends that I do have I feel like I can open up to. Especially like I feel like there's at least a good 3 or 4 that I can count from the top of my head that I can be like 110% open. Yeah. And also like they know me. Yeah. Like even if I'm trying to put on a front, they know like, yo, you know
What's
what I'm saying?
going
Like
on?
when I'm like my bro, big bro Baba, like if he has a studio downtown, so it's just like I'm always there for the most
Yeah.
part. But whenever something is
A bit off.
a
you're
bit
like,
off,
yeah.
he automatically like will pick it up. He automatically like, yeah, he's going through it right now. Well, you're gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm very big on the idea of community. I think I actually wanted to create like a community myself with like just men.
Yeah.
Like a men's group. We just talk about a lot of the things that I feel like we deal with and kind of
Yeah.
like create like a support group in a
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, I think it's essential because, and it's also good to have men that push you to become the best version of yourself.
Okay.
So for me, I like surrounding myself with people that are, you know, like educating themselves, people that are, you know, financially, you know, thriving, people
Yeah.
that are, you know, I also like surrounding myself with people that are in relationships. I
Yeah.
don't like surrounding myself with men that are just out here in the streets because I really and truly, it just, you can be the strongest person, but you are only as strong as the people you surround yourself with.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
you know, and so the type of man that I want to be, I don't want to be out there when I'm married. So I'm practicing how to be the best version now. So it's not so much of like a shock when it does happen.
For you.
Yeah, because it can be a little crazy, and I know myself.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely know myself. Like I'm not perfect, and I know if I'm in certain environments,
Yeah.
I'm gonna automatically like adapt to the way, not necessarily adapt, but I'm gonna get tempted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to put myself in those situations if I can like
avoid those.
control it.
Okay, so if you could share like manhood 101
Yeah.
from your perspective then for how men could get okay if they're not okay, what are like 3 to 5 things that you would say or advice you'd give?
3 to 5 things. One, I would say is be brutally honest with yourself.
Okay.
Right. 2, I would say stop consuming porn.
Okay.
And I know this is difficult for a lot of men, but like it is one of the most destructive things you can ever do.
Yeah.
Because not only does it like fry your brain, but it completely changes the way you look at women.
It does.
Like you will like only like objectify a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it leads to you picking the wrong partners because you constantly are controlled by lust.
Yeah.
And so that in itself is super, 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 super important. 3, I would say it's surround yourself with like-minded men or men that you would want to become.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with having a mentor. So, and number 4, I would say therapy also is amazing.
Yeah.
I love
therapy.
the idea of being able to, you know, have someone that you can talk about all your things that you can't talk about with anybody else.
Yeah.
And 5 is at any moment, at any point in life, be the most fit person that you can possibly become. Fitness should not be an option. Like that's a basic necessity that every single man that wants to be the best version of themselves, you have to be fit. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much, at the end of the day, if you're not fit, I guarantee you, there's just a certain level of respect that people don't have for you. That's a fact. And I made a video talking about like the body positivity movement only applies to women. Yeah. Because it does. As a man, like
really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so curious. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, because men will tell you. Like men, the moment
honestly, you're right. Take that back. Yes. It only applies to women.
It only applies to women.
Yeah.
Like men size up other men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you can try to be like, oh, I love my body, but if you're not comfortable to where you want to be, no matter how much you're trying to seal, how much you're trying to hide that, it will always show.
Yeah.
Like women are a bit sneakier in a sense, but men, you can't hide that. Like I can look at you, I can look at a man right now.
Like
if I look at you in your eyes, I can tell if you're trying to hide something. Like legit, I can tell if you're confident or not. Yeah. Because they won't be able to like hold eye contact with somebody.
I could also say, sure, that is from the male perspective. I like to say from the body positivity perspective for women. Yeah. Men have no excuse because at least women in some ways can argue hormones, different things, your energy, your body,
PCOS.
your fitness, PCOS, PMDD. So but men Please. I
There's
started
no
hearing men talk
excuse.
about like, oh, men go through PMDD as well. Oh, please.
There's no excuse.
No excuse.
Absolutely no excuse.
You're right. You're right. I get that. Okay. So we're gonna talk just a little bit about women and dating and accountability. And I feel like we've already touched upon this a little bit in the conversations we've had. But what's one thing you wish women understood about the pressure men are under?
That in this day and age, like, men feel very belittled.
Really?
Yeah. A
Explain
lot of,
that to me.
especially within our communities, because I feel as though, how would I call it? How would I say this? Like, within the Black community, per se, a lot of the media outlets, I feel as though, are benefiting from that constant friction of like men and in a sense, I see it in multitude of things. One, I feel as though is the idea of like, oh, Black men don't date Black women, or Black men don't marry Black women.
Which is not true, by the way. Statistics don't even show that. It's not
It's
true
the
at
crazy.
all. It's the craziest
It's the
thing.
craziest thing. But if you're looking on social media, if
That's
you're looking
what
on
you
these
see.
platforms,
Yeah.
that's all you see.
Yeah.
Because what they know that if I post this, I'm gonna get
A
the
level
level of
yeah.
engagement that like is no other.
Yeah.
All you see in the comments is like, oh, Black women. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not. And so subconsciously, you kind of having Black women wired have this thought in their mind that like, oh, Black men don't like Black women, or
yeah.
especially dark skinned men. God forbid. I remember a couple of times.
I didn't think, I'll be honest, I didn't think you like Black women. I didn't think that.
But that's the thing. Why would you? What made you think that?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen me with?
No, I've not actually. Actually, it's
But you know
so
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
But
so true.
it's a thing where it's just like they have this like this thought that like, oh, if he dark skinned, he definitely don't go for it. But I'm just like, it's a couple
I
of
think
times.
it's a self-hatred thing, though. I think it's for women and the men.
Yes,
'Cause
but I
women
also-
prescribe that.
But I also feel like is brainwashing as well
Yes.
by these media platforms.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that constant friction is profit to them. But it's like a couple of times I went, like the Sage Room posted me and a couple of other guys, and
Yeah.
it's just like all in the comments. But does he like Black women? Does he? I absolutely love Black women. Like
He
I
does.
absolutely adore and love Black women. Like I haven't like. I wouldn't want to be with anybody else
Yeah.
other than Black
He's an
women. You know
African
what I'm saying?
man.
Because I feel like so like there's so many different choices, so many different Black women are just amazing.
Black women are.
Honestly, like Black women are really amazing. And so I don't. So that idea of like, oh, dude, it's so annoying. It's
Yeah,
so
I feel that.
annoying.
It's so annoying. And I think people feed into that too, because when you see online, you just see like, oh, the dark skinned guy, the successful guy goes to the light skinned women. I will say from a sociological perspective
Yeah.
that we see that happen because in those spaces of high success, people who are your race, especially in America,
Yeah.
don't look like you. So it's harder for a Black man who might be like Fortune 500 CEO person
Yeah.
or whatever to find someone who's his peer
Yeah.
in a way on those spaces. Like the basketball players who are
Yeah.
like, you know, famous and doing all these big things and then like trying to date. Tracy Ellis Ross says the same thing too when she's talking about dating at her age and seeing like it's hard when you get to a certain point, especially in a majority white
It is.
country. You're already going through racism and colorism and all this other shit
Yeah.
within your community. When you've passed that bubble of your community and you're now bigger, you're in a smaller pool of eligible people who look like you.
Yeah.
Because if you think of African men in Africa, how many African famous men do you think got married white people? No,
That's
like,
what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
work that way.
No, legit, and even in America as well.
Yeah.
It's not much.
It's not.
But it's you don't see Black couples get plastered on online as much, nearly as much as
Yeah.
like interracial couples, and also the double standard as well.
Yeah.
Because if a Black woman is to marry a white man, it's like, oh, sis, go get your coin. I love that.
Yeah.
Go where you're appreciated. You got,
Oh,
and it's just like
yeah,
the double
yeah.
standards is crazy.
Yeah, guys.
It's crazy. It's
well,
actually
I have
crazy.
said that too. It's crazy.
No, I'm
That's
telling
true.
you.
Yeah.
Trust me. You don't gotta tell me
Yeah,
that. I know
I'm
that
like,
for sure.
Oh yeah, girl, you definitely that white man's taking care of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go get your coins. Just go where you're appreciated. It's like
I was like,
Yeah.
I think I always say like, because as a creator, let me say this, as a creator, one of my biggest things I tell Black creators when they talk about not getting engagement or not being as successful as their white peers, I say, if you look at the pool you're pulling from, you're a minority.
Yeah.
So you're never going to be as successful as the white people because you're playing in their market. You're playing in the American market. You're going to be put in a box because they're in charge.
Absolutely.
If you are in Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Gambia, Senegal, you will be successful because you are playing in the majority market.
Yeah.
And so I say that again within the dating pool and relationships in America too. It is going to be hard because you're already playing in the minority, and you're not adding a minority where they're constantly putting you guys in the streets, in the hood. You're struggling with so much already that it's even going to be harder. So it's very, very important for us to show elevated visuals of what Black love is and Black couples. And I think it's happening. You still see a lot of Black families now, which I love. I'm like, okay, whenever I see a Black couple, I'm like, yes, like we need to show more Black love because the sentiments that Black men don't love Black women is an absolute lie. That is definitely not true. I think what you see on media as well, America wants you to see, because again, it's a very multicultural society, allegedly. Okay, last thing I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to a fun game, is what is one hard truth that you've had to swallow in relationships about the kind of man you are versus the kind of man you thought you were?
That I always wasn't. How would I say this? Let me think about it.
You can think about it. We ain't got time. As you're thinking about it, can be yapping away, guys.
Actually, I got it. I think the way that I would speak when I'm mad.
Okay.
Like, it was very destructive in a sense that, like, I didn't necessarily I wouldn't think too much about the implications of some of the things that I might say. And it wasn't until like someone told me like, yo, just look at how you just acting right now. Like, and I had to do some like really deep internal work to understand. I'm like, damn, like this is actually like, this is not, and it wasn't like nothing too crazy. Yeah. But it was just like I can go from zero. I could before go from 0 to 100.
Wow.
And then 30 minutes later, I'm like, cool off. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, I'm a lot more, I don't even get angry really when I'm talking, because I'm just like, there's really no need. So it's just like, how, if I need to cool off, let me just cool off a little bit and then communicate with my open mind as opposed to like acting off of emotions.
I love that. You know what's crazy? I also struggle with that. Yeah. Like, I am a crazy talker when I'm upset. Like, I didn't realize how much I would say. I'm a very hyperbolistic human. I don't know if that's a real word. But I would be like, I hate this. I'm so over. Blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, did you really feel that way? Or is it just emotions in the moment? So I love that you shared that. Yeah. Okay. We're done with the loud guest seat. And so we're going to get into some fun questions. This is a game called What Men Say versus What They Mean. Okay. I'm going to read classic lines and you have to translate it. Okay. And think about this from perspective of
a man?
Yes. Okay. Of a, like, and you can say it in the good way, you can say it in the bad way, you can give us options of what they could potentially mean. And I'm doing this for the girls who like men. Okay, you ready? Okay. I'm just really busy right now, I can't talk.
It means I'm busy. No, because...
Does it really mean that, or is it this person is just not interested in you?
No, it depends. Mm-hmm. It depends, because sometimes it could be. How often is this person busy to the? Because I felt as though it takes 5 seconds to call, be like, hey, I'm
busy
a little
right
caught up right now, but I'll call you, or at least communicate it ahead of time.
Okay, yeah.
But if you just ghost and then like don't say nothing,
that's crazy.
That's terrible communication. So speak it a little bit, like use your communicate. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not ready for a relationship.
It depends on, like, it depends because it's just like, are y'all, what's the relationship like? Are y'all physical? Are y'all like?
Let's assume they're physical. They're in a situationship, and the person keeps saying they're not ready for a relationship.
Okay, if they're not ready for a relationship, are they still? If they're not ready for a relationship and they still getting physical with the person, then is that's just some bullshit. That's excuses. Because if you're not ready for a relationship,
what are you doing?
Then you should not be sexually involved, or what is the reason why you are not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then cut the whole thing, work on yourself until you're ready, and then.
Are y'all listening? So when I say it, it's a problem.
Oh yeah, listen now.
I'm not just really good at texting.
Yeah, it means they're not good at texting. I'm not the best at texting.
He's not.
I'm not the best at texting. Like I will go days sometimes and but
Facts.
yeah, I'm more of a call type of person. So it depends. Are they calling as often, or are they just not texting at all? Like so.
Okay, I don't do birthdays or anniversaries like that.
He's African. Listen, I'm terrible with birthdays.
Really?
Yeah, I'm terrible
for
with
your
birthdays.
significant other, would you do the effort to make it special for them?
I would.
Okay.
I'm very big on celebrating people. Contrary to pop, I actually don't like celebrating myself.
Yeah.
So it's just like I sometimes feel awkward. I'm like, I don't even want to be celebrated for real. But I'm trying my best, and I understand that like the things that I don't care about, other people might care about, like Valentine's and all of these things.
Yeah.
I could give two shits about, but
Hang in there.
Yeah.
All right, that is it. Okay, guys, that is the end of today's episode. Oh, we're still going to be doing Pod Fam Hotline for not this episode, but for I think a solo one coming up where you guys send in your voicemail. So go to mitloud.com and send me questions so I can play on here and react to some stuff. But guys, before we go, I always ask my guests to look directly into the camera, and you're going to hype yourself up.
Okay.
So you're gonna talk your ish, essentially. Folks have said, "Am I too loud if I say I'm the most successful creator on the planet? I work really hard." Folks have said, "Am I too loud if I say I'm better than Kanye West?" Like stuff like that.
Okay.
You can go as long as you want. You can go as short as you want. Just hype yourself up, and you can start with, "Am I too loud?"
Yeah. Am I too loud if I say I'm one of the most fashionable creators there are? Or there is? Is it supposed to be there is or there are?
They are.
They
There
are.
is. Yeah, whatever.
English is not my first language, but yeah.
No, keep going. You gotta keep going. I want to hear all of it.
More stuff?
Yeah, like hype yourself up. Like talk your ish. It's so funny how most people, every time we get to this part, they're all like, what else did I say?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. I think I'm the most like integrity driven, open, and positive content creator there is.
Period.
I'm not too loud if I say that I think I'm one of the most like positive voices within the African community when it comes to content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
I like that. I'll take it. Thanks, Mo, for hanging out with me today. That is the end of Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sophie, aka the motherfucking Oddity. If you made it this far, you're officially a pod fam. You're stuck with me now. Don't forget to follow the podcast. Mo, where can they follow you online?
you can follow me on Instagram at swaggy_mo, TikTok swaggy_mo_, and YouTube The Real Swaggy Mo. But I just want to say,
has been killing it. FYI, killing it.
But honestly, like I'm so proud of you. Like no, seriously, like you are an absolute powerhouse. Like I don't think you're like it's just this is. I feel so comfortable, like so relaxed, and your energy, like your positive energy, just exudes. Like I'm super proud
Thanks,
of you,
Mom.
and
I appreciate it.
I see this going so far, like because I usually never do podcasts like that, don't I? Yeah, but I was just
I know,
like,
it's
man,
very worried when I texted you. I was like, I hope he says yes.
Yeah, no,
yes.
absolutely. I'm like really grateful that you chose me to talk to you about this.
No,
topic,
I feel like it was a necessary conversation because I don't think, I will be very honest, I'm not the biggest like, oh yay, manhood. I'm all about like women and just I'm finding their selves and visibility, but I'll be doing myself and my community a disservice if I don't hear the perspective of a man who's working towards being a better man. No better person or anything like that, but like a better man. What does manhood mean for people? How can women listen to a man who's working on himself and see what that looks like? A positive mindset, positive role model, especially an African man, because we don't hear that a lot, and it's important we do. So I appreciate you coming here.
Of course.
It was a really good conversation. I can't wait for the edit, and I'll see you guys later in the next episode.
Peace.
Bye, guys. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to like this one right here.